So thank you all for joining. Hopefully this will be quite a nice, quick and easy training session. Like I said, everything is being recorded. If you can all just put yourself on mute whilst we're going through the presentation, there is an opportunity to ask questions at the end. So we can go through that all at the end if anybody has any questions or queries. So let me share my screen with you all. Hopefully you can all see my PowerPoint. Can everybody nod just so that they can see it? Perfect. Okay, so today's agenda then. So what we're going to hopefully get through is what is Receipt Bank, why we use it, the three main ways of using Receipt Bank, the benefits of it, and then why we as Nefos love to use Receipt Bank. So just a little bit about me. So for those of you that don't know me, my name's Leanne. I am the Digital Growth Manager here at Nefos. I initially started in an accounts role here, and I've been kind of working in accounts for the last 2 years. But kind of over the last 6-month period or so, we have changed our kind of structure of the business here, and I've moved more into a kind of development role. So my role mainly involves helping the growth of our business and also the development as well as marketing, and also doing things like we are today to help the success of our clients, to help streamline our clients, to help their lives become as easy as possible. And I'm also our resident app expert, so hence the Receipt Bank training today. So what is Receipt Bank? So for those of you that don't know, Receipt Bank is a receipt scanning tool. It uses optical character recognition, so OCR technology, to help extract data from receipts. And it's a simple and painless way to do your bookkeeping. We use it across the board here at Nefos. All of our clients have a Receipt Bank set up. Although you guys might not use it yourselves at the moment, we do have one set up for you all. So hence the reason for today's session. Why do we use it? These are the kind of main reasons as to why we use it. It's a humongous time-saving tool. It completely eradicates the need for manual data entry. It stops the tedious kind of having to write out manual bills. There's also an automation function, which we will go through kind of later on in the presentation. But for our kind of side of things, the automation tool is amazing for us. There's a direct integration with Xero, which again, the vast majority of you will be using, which again makes our life simple because Xero is our accounting software of choice. And it also means that we can give you real-time information. Now, at the moment, sometimes with a few clients, we only see their paperwork on a quarterly or an annual basis. So the basis of using Receipt Bank is to help us get you that information quicker so that you can understand your business a bit more, kind of understand your costs, what you need to be saving, things like that. And then the last line, again, like I've said, there's no tedious data entry. It does get very tedious having to put on lots and lots of receipts. So to just scan it all to Receipt Bank and have Receipt Bank do that job for you is an absolute time saver. So there are three main ways of using Receipt Bank. So we've got the mobile app, which is the kind of method of choice for most people. We've got the email in, and we've also got the desktop. Now the desktop is, again, mainly for our use, but it's always good to know how to use the desktop, what am I trying to say? How to put receipts on using the desktop, just in case it's ever needed. So if we go through the mobile app, so it's downloadable from the App Store or the Google Store for free. This is what the logo looks like. It's just a little house with a little tick through it. Login details will be sent out to you after this training session if you don't already have it. If you do have your login details, just let me know, and I won't send you them again. There's no need to. So when you first log into the app, this is the screen that you will see. At the moment, it's the example that we've got is empty because there's no receipts in there. First step then is to click this camera button at the bottom. It will take you to this screen, which is your camera. And you'll see at the bottom, we've got three methods of inputting data. So the first one we'll see is single. This is used for taking pictures of single receipts. So for example, taking a picture of your fuel receipt when you've gone to fill up your car, or taking a picture of your coffee receipt. So when you've got a one-off receipt. The second option is multiple. So this is used when you've got a pile of receipts that are sat there. So I can imagine a few of you might have a pile of receipts sat waiting ready to use Receipt Bank. You can only submit a maximum of 30 receipts at a time, but you just submit it and then just upload another 30. It's as simple as that. And then the last function we've got is combine. So this is used for double-sided receipts. So for example, Sainsbury's receipts, who print their date on the back of a receipt, which is quite frustrating sometimes, and also receipts that are relatively long. If you've got a receipt that's, say, this long, it's sometimes difficult to read it when you've just taken a picture of it. So you can fold the receipt in half, take a picture of one side, take a picture of another, and it combines those two pictures together to make one receipt. It's worth noting that you can only use the combine function for one receipt at a time. Unfortunately, Receipt Bank doesn't have a multi-combine function at the moment, but it is in the making. So once we've done that, well, this is our example. So I've taken a picture of this receipt here. So the main things to note when you're taking pictures of your receipt is, oh, why isn't it clicking next? Is to make sure that we can quite clearly see who the supplier is. We can see what the receipt is for, so the description of the receipt, the total amount of the receipt, the card number where applicable. We'll go into why this is needed in some cases in a little bit. And then the date of the receipt and the VAT number or the VAT amount. Now, this receipt that I've used as an example does not have a VAT breakdown on it. When you are taking pictures of your receipts, and if you are a VAT registered business, it's worth making sure that you do get VAT receipts where possible, just so that we can make sure that we are claiming the correct VAT and claiming all VAT where possible. It's important to make sure that all of these bits of your receipts are visible. It means that it makes Receipt Bank's job much easier, as it will be able to extract the information a lot quicker. And again, it makes our lives easier so that we can see what you have uploaded, and we can quickly just scan through everything and get it through to the system as quickly as possible. So once you have taken a picture of your receipt, you can then bin it, as long as you are happy that you can see everything. So the next step then is to click this big button at the bottom, which will take you to this screen. Now, again, like I've just said, as long as you are happy that the receipt is clear, and this picture here, we can read everything that we need to, you can just get rid of that receipt. HMRC states that you have to keep receipts for 6 years, but they have also stated that, sorry, it's getting quite noisy out there. They have also stated that you can hold digital copies of receipts as well. So Receipt Bank has a nice cool function where it stores your receipts in an archive for 6 years. So again, like I said, you can just completely get rid of it. Now, there are some situations where you are buying certain things and it might not be clear to us as your accountants what they're for. So we would recommend that you click this button at the top here that says Add Info. Once you click this button, it will lead you to this screen here. Again, this is kind of just the information that it's already extracted. So the date of the receipt. So what we would recommend that you do is click into this bit here that says receipt description and write what the receipt is for if it's not clear. There are some instances where, for example, if you get fuel, it's very, very simple for us to figure out that you're buying fuel. But for example, this is a food receipt that I bought. It could be personal, it could be for my mum and dad, it could be for anything. So I've made sure that I've put that it's food for office so that I know to categorize it correctly. If it is obvious, don't worry about filling in that button. But if it's not obvious and you want just to give us a helping hand as to where we need to code it, then write a little bit in the description. Once you've filled in your description, you simply click save at the top. It will then bring you back to this screen, and then you click submit for processing at the bottom. And that's as simple as that. That's how you use the mobile app. Again, like I said, as long as the pictures of your receipts are nice and clear, you can get rid of them as soon as you've done it. So that leads us nicely onto our next method, which is the emailing. So this is used for invoices and receipts that you receive digitally. So what happens is a unique email address is generated when we set up a login for your receipt bank. Again, like I said, we can send out these details to you afterwards if you don't have your email in. Your unique email address will end in receiptbank.me. That's how you know which one it is. So it works for invoices or receipts that are embedded within an email. So for example, Apple receipts, they tend to be within the email, or for invoices that are attached to emails. If you just forward your email straight to that email address, it will take it straight into the inbox of Receipt Bank, and then we can do the rest. Again, if you need to kind of let us know what that email is, if it's embedded within the email, when you forward it, you can write a little bit at the top of the email to say, for example, this is a camera that I bought 2 days ago or something like that, just so that we're aware. If it's a PDF, I'll show you on the next step how we can go in and add some information to that. It's worth noting that when you've got a PDF on an email, Receipt Bank does not have the ability to extract a PDF that is one PDF but has multiple receipts on it. It is a bit annoying at times. For example, we've got builder clients who get invoices from county builders, which all come on one single PDF. If you were to forward that email straight to Receipt Bank, it will read it as one PDF, which is a bit annoying, but we can fix that, which I will show you in the next slide. So this takes us nicely onto the desktop. So again, like I said at the start, this is one that we mainly use, but it is good for you guys to know how to use the desktop version, because you'll need it for multi-invoice PDFs. And if you just want to log on and check your receipts and add any details that you want. So if we have a quick look, when you first log on to the desktop, this is what you will see. Again, this client has nothing in their inbox at the moment, so it's nice and clear. If you were to upload a big bulk of receipts from your mobile and then log on to the desktop, it will be in this box here on the side in processing, and then once it's being processed, it will move into the inbox. But again, that's only when there's invoices in there. So to add a cost, you simply click the Add Cost button at the top, and it will take you to this screen. Now, if you've got a PDF on your desktop that you just want to add via the desktop, you can click this single items PDF here and upload it. But again, like I said, to keep things simple for you guys, it'll be better for you to use the email in and also the mobile app, just to, like I said, keep things simple. So the other button that we've got is multi-item PDFs. So like I said, there's situations where you might receive a PDF that is one single PDF that has multiple invoices on it. So what you would do is click on this multi-item PDFs button, then come to this owner button. Now, if you click on the drop down, it will have your name and also our name. So self-explanatory, click your name so that we know that it's you that's uploading it. It will then select that and then give you the opportunity to insert your PDF here. You can drag and drop it straight on, or you can click to select the file. Once you've done that and uploaded it, it will split all of the pages that are on that PDF and then shove them into in-processing. Again, nice and simple. That's how you upload it from there. What's next? Okay, so if we go back a slide, once we're in this bit here and you've got a number of receipts in there, if you need to come on and just have a look and make sure that your receipt has been uploaded okay, or you want to just change the information, you would simply click into the receipt that's here, and then the image will, I didn't put this on the slide, I am sorry, the picture will appear here, and then you'll have all of the kind of breakdown over this side, and it will tell you what it's kind of extracted it as, and if you want to add some information in there, you can then do that. But again, it's really self-explanatory when you're on there. So let's just click back through. So the benefits of Receipt Bank then. So the main one for you guys is a financial benefit. For any of you who are VAT registered, you'll know that as a business, we have a policy of if there's no receipt, there's no VAT. So by using Receipt Bank, we can make sure that we're accounting for every single bit of VAT on any purchase that you make where applicable. There are some cases where there's no VAT on certain things, but for the vast majority, there's VAT on most purchases. Again, there are times where we're missing things like coffee receipts, fuel receipts, anything like that. And whilst it might be 4 or 5 quid here and there, it does all add up eventually. For a real kind of case study, we had a client once, his VAT bill was sat at £22,000. He then started firing everything through Receipt Bank that he found in his van, and we managed to get his VAT bill down to £15,000. So it's a real kind of beneficial tool to help make sure that we are extracting everything that we can. Again, like I've already mentioned, real-time information. So, and that kind of links into our next point of quicker information. So with receipt, if you're uploading your Receipt Banks, your receipts as you get them, it means that we are firing everything through and we can reconcile things quicker. We can, with the kind of tools and tips through Receipt Bank and things like bank feeds and whatnot, we can make sure that everything's reconciled at a quicker rate, which means that you can jump on and see how profitable your business is, how kind of what your turnover is, how that compares to your expenses, things like that. So the quicker you kind of put your receipts and whatnot onto Receipt Bank, the easier it is for you to read that information. Now, there are some people who would prefer just to have their kind of year-end accounting work, which is absolutely fine. Receipt Bank is still a benefit for that. It means that we can, like I say, get your paperwork on a lot quicker, and therefore get your accounts to you a lot quicker. Some people don't want real-time information. They just want to know how their accounts are doing at the end of the year, which again, like I said, is absolutely fine. The next step then is cleaner records. So with Receipt Bank, it allows us to not make assumptions. We can see what you're buying from these shops. Things like Tesco's, Sainsbury's, your kind of high street shops. It's hard for us to make a judgment call on what you're buying there because there's so much you can buy. There could be fuel, it could be office supplies, it could be food, it could be drinks. The list is endless. So by using Receipt Bank and uploading all of your receipts, it helps us to code things better. It helps us to understand your business a lot better and make sure that everything's being accounted for where it should be. And then lastly, and probably the most important point, it means that your account managers aren't on your back every 5 minutes asking for your paperwork. It can get frustrating for some that we are constantly asking for paperwork. It's not because we're trying to be annoying, it's because we're trying to help you to the best that we can and make sure that we can get your VAT bill down. We can get your accounts to you quicker. We can give you the information that you require. So by using Receipt Bank, we can do that. So lastly then, kind of why we like Receipt Bank. So this is a list of kind of the tools that Receipt Bank offers for us accountants and also for you guys as well. So the first one is Invoice Fetch. So what this is we can log in to any account that you have. So for example, well, within limitations. For example, we can log into your Amazon account and get your Amazon invoices pulled straight through to Receipt Bank. We can log into PayPal. For builders, we can log into Travis Perkins accounts. There's a very, very, very large list. I think there's about 2,000 suppliers that Receipt Bank integrates with. I can send out a list to anybody who is intrigued as to what it is. But essentially what that does is it allows us to link that account and pull things straight into the Receipt Bank inbox, which again saves you guys time and saves us time because we don't have to chase for it. The next cool little feature that Receipt Bank has then is the bank match function. Now for anybody that has their bank on a feed within Xero, this is an absolutely amazing tool because it allows us to check which bank account it has been matched to. That's where the making sure that we can see what the card number on your card receipt is so that we can help quickly identify which bank account it needs to be matched to. And then we can send that straight to Xero, straight to the bank, and it will be matched straight away. Like really simple, really quick, really automated. And yeah, it's just a fantastic function for us. We've also got a supplier rules function. So for anybody that buys from the same supplier all the time or buys the same kind of items from a supplier, we can add this supplier to Receipt Bank and say to this algorithm, right, every time I buy from Travis Perkins, we are going to say that it's a direct expense. So we can then apply that rule, and every time an invoice from Travis Perkins comes into the inbox, it will assign it to direct expenses. Again, saving us time means we don't have to go through all your receipts and kind of deduce where it needs to go. And it just makes things so much slicker. And then that leads us into the automation. There is a function within Receipt Bank called Auto Publish, which we can use in conjunction with supplier rules. So if we go back to our example of Travis Perkins, we can set up a supplier rule to say, right, every single time a Travis Perkins comes into our inbox, we are going to send it to direct expenses. Then we can tick the auto publish box, which says, right, we've assigned it to direct expenses. Now we want to push it straight through to Xero. So from you guys uploading your receipts or us linking Invoice Fetch, it will then go through Receipt Bank, extract the information it needs and go straight to Xero, ready for us to do your bookkeeping. So as you can probably imagine, that saves us an awful lot of time in processing. If we were to be doing kind of manual work, that would take an awful lot of time. I was showing a client the other day the amount of time that we've saved in the last 30 days, and we're currently sat at 120 hours worth of time saved using Receipt Bank. It really is an incredible tool for automation. That's annoying. So we've also got a bank extraction feature. So for those of you who aren't on a bank feed, we can put your bank statements through Receipt Bank and it will export it in a CSV format ready for us to upload straight to Xero. So it will extract all of your bank information and again, like I said, put that in a format ready for us to upload. Now that saves an awful lot of time on typing up bank statements. It's, yeah, again, a really, really incredible tool. And again, to reiterate the point of real-time information, we love offering real-time information here to all of our clients. Advisory services are kind of our forte. So to help us get that advisory and forward thinking and future information, we need real-time information, which is where Receipt Bank comes in. And then lastly, as you will probably receive the email, we are no longer accepting paperwork within the office, which means we don't have cupboards stacked full of paperwork. We don't have paper over our desks. We're not trying to have to arrange meetings with clients to come and get their paperwork or bring paper in. So it all kind of ties together in us becoming more efficient and more streamlined, really. So to summarize then, the main kind of 3 benefits for Receipt Bank is it saves you time because you're not being chased by us to bring in your paperwork every kind of quarter / month / year. You're not having to kind of spend time putting your records together. You can just do it as you go, and again, save you an awful lot of time. It will save you money. For those of you that are VAT registered, we can get as much VAT on your VAT return as possible, and it'll also save kind of your money in our time, because we can reconcile as we go instead of spending an awful lot of time at year end to try and get everything up together for you. And then lastly, that kind of ties into the last point. It saves us time. It means that we can focus on getting you the fun information, so how your business is performing, get your kind of year-end accounts to you quicker, your statutory accounts to you quicker, all of that. It really is a massive time savings tool. Again, there are 3 ways of submission, so the mobile app, the email in, and the desktop. The kind of main ones to use for you guys will be the mobile app and the email in, which links into the next point of saying the easiest way to submit is whilst you're on the go. So when you go and get your fuel, as soon as you get back in the car, take a picture of your receipt, screw it up, shove it in the car. That's it, you don't need it anymore. When you go and get your coffee, take a picture of it, put it in the bin before you leave. It really is nice and simple. You can then forget about it. You can forget about it because you know that it's come straight to us and we can get you your bookkeeping records quicker. And again, lastly, your logins will be sent out to you after this session for anybody who doesn't have it. So, any questions? You can all unmute yourself now if you so wish. Just going to stop sharing my screen so I can see you all. Anybody got any questions, or does that all seem okay for everyone?
That's great.
That seems good. Yeah, it's fine.
Perfect. So this is the basics of Receipt Bank. Jem and Lisa, I know you guys will be taking things slightly further for bookkeeping. So what I'll do is I'll arrange another training session for kind of further Receipt Bank training. So how we get that information from the inbox to Xero. So I can set that up. And again, for anybody else who wants kind of that further bookkeeping training, feel free to jump on that. I'll send a link out kind of in the next week or so, and we'll get that booked in the diary for July.
My big query, Leanne, was you mentioned that not far from the end about bank statements through Receipt Bank.
Yes.
I mean, that's something that I don't know about. I mean, obviously we are using it with all our invoices and receipts, etc. So can you just tell me again how the bank statement works?
Of course. Are you guys not on bank feeds on Xero?
Yeah, so we've got our bank feeds.
Yeah.
Is that the same correlation? Is it?
So if you've got a bank feed on Xero,
yeah,
you wouldn't necessarily need to use the bank extraction feature. So it's for people who don't have bank feeds. There's also a couple of banks at the moment that don't have a direct bank feed in Xero. So an example of that would be American Express. Up until very recently, they haven't had a bank feed in place, so we've had to use the bank extraction on Receipt Bank to save us time on typing up the bank statements. So as long as your bank account is on a bank feed, you won't need to use the bank extraction on Xero on Receipt Bank.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Brilliant.
Perfect.
Yeah. Good.
Amazing.
I'm not sure whether mine is. It's HSBC. It would be with Xero, wouldn't it?
Let me just have a quick look. I don't think yours is on a bank feed, Hilary, but we can get in. I can get Charlotte to get in touch with you to get that bank feed set up so that we can get you more kind of up-to-date information. Bear with me 2 seconds. Are you on a bank feed? Oh, you are on a bank feed.
Oh, great, thanks.
Yeah, you're on a bank feed, so that's perfect. Yeah. All of the main high street banks have bank feeds. If you guys do use Xero and you know that your bank isn't on a feed, please do get in touch with either myself or your account managers, and we can get that set up straight away so that we can get all the transactions coming through and we can get the bookkeeping done a lot quicker.
Thanks, Leanne.
Cool. So if there's no other questions, I will leave you all to your days.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much for joining. It's been really great. There will be kind of further training sessions in the future on kind of other apps and tools that we use that we can send out to you guys to get you information on that. But yeah, thank you all for joining and have a lovely day.